camera is pointed my direction, I seem to freeze. I literally do. I look like someone other than myself. And today we're going to change all that. Welcome to Amy's Table. I'm Amy Tobin, and today I have Tonya Bolton here to talk to us about how to strike a pose.
Yes.
Tonya, I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you for having me.
We have had so many interesting conversations, you and I think you're a fascinating person, and your photography is so beautiful. You've shown me some portraits that take my breath away. But I want to know, how did this start? Were you a kid messing around with a camera and you realized?
A kid, let's see, I was early 20s, so yes, I feel like that was when I was a kid at this stage of my life. How to condense this story into something very quick. My husband gave me a camera as a gag gift for our anniversary. I was supposed to get a set of rings because when we first got married, my rings were very, like $200 rings. He couldn't afford rings, so we decided, okay, we're gonna get some new rings. So I was expecting rings. He gives me this big box, and I'm like, this is not a ring box. And open it, go through the whole thing. Come to find out, we get in the car to go to dinner. He has the rings in the car in the glove box. So I did get my rings, but this camera, I'm like, now I'm happy about the camera because I did get the rings.
Yes.
So I started using, and we got married in the fall, so perfect season to take pictures. And so I'm testing out my camera, took a picture of my 2-year-old, and something about that picture, it just captured his personality. And I know photographers we hate to use the word capture because it's so overused, but it's really the only way to describe it. He was just such a little ladies' man at 2 years old. And this picture, and I keep it framed in my studio and at home because it's really what started just loving photography. And from that day on, I just pictures.
When did it become an actual career?
Oh, I went back to school when I was 36. It really came to be out of necessity. My husband was a general contractor. We had our own construction business for a while. But he had some back surgeries, and I could tell he wasn't going to be able to keep doing that physical job anymore. So I thought, okay, I better prepare for something because up to then I was a stay-at-home mom. I waited tables when I was a teenager. I didn't really have real skills that could translate into being a breadwinner or income earner. So while I was at school, I was just kind of cleaning houses. So I cleaned toilets for a while to make up for some money here and there. And then decided to go through school. And I went to Antonelli. It was an art school downtown, which it's no longer there, but it was a wonderful school to go to. And they just taught me how to use the camera the right way, not just relying on just clicking the shutter and letting the camera make all the decisions. And so that's how it became. I needed it to be a business.
Yeah.
And that's how it became professional.
You know, they say that, hi Leroy, they say that in life you need either inspiration or inspiration or desperation.
That's what it was.
And you had a little bit of both.
Yep.
And it's so funny because you wish you could tell everybody, write it out. This desperation it may pay off. From the, I don't want a camera, I wanted rings, to I'll do what it takes to put food on the table, to really you were able to follow your passion.
Yep.
Well, it's so clearly a passion, and we should tell everybody you have a bit of a method, and it's not like, come to my studio, I'll shoot your photo. There's some preparation that leads up to it.
Yes.
And I think this must be the key, because you've said most people come to you traumatized by past experiences or seeing photos they didn't like. We're all our worst critic, but I hate having my photo taken.
I know, it's true.
I become a different person. So
the stress level, everybody who comes in, they're not excited. Maybe once in a while I'll get somebody who has that inner confidence and they're just ready for it, but it's very slim. Most of the time people have not enjoyed this experience before. The prep work is where the magic happens. And my husband says this is the perfect job for me because I'm a control freak and I like to boss people around. So yes, down to what are we going to do with your hair? What are we going to do with your makeup? What kind of clothes are we going to wear? What are we going to do with your fingernails, your toenails, everything? Everything has to be decided before you get to the photo shoot itself. And that's always my number one recommendation when I'm telling people how to choose a photographer. if they're not asking these kind of questions or trying to get to know you before the photo shoot, that's a red flag, because how do they know how to capture who you are if they haven't even taken the time to get to know you yet?
I imagine this degree of preparation, like if I'm doing a cooking class or taping a show, if I'm prepped, I come into it with a whole different outlook.
Yes.
I'm just chill, ready to be humorous, ready to engage with the group. So I imagine that does a lot to impact someone's facial expressions and body language. And I have learned the hard way, thinking I've got some outfits that are just going to be great, and something's not right. Either the fit or the collar or the color or, I have a black dress that I think in person is really pretty, and I wore it to an event. And afterwards, a photographer friend of mine, not knowing this is what I did, said to me, yeah, and the last thing you want to do is wear a big old long black dress because you look just like a big black blob. Well, that's what I did in the photos. I'm looking going, oh my God. No. So let's talk about this.
Okay.
What are some of the ideal things to wear for a photo shoot?
So it's always going to be different. There's really no straight answer to that because people are different heights, different weights, different shapes, different skin tone, different hair, different eyes. So all of those things have to be taken into consideration before I suggest what you're going to wear.
Right.
And I will say, just back to the point of relieving some of the stress for the person, because I have this pre-meeting with them where I'm going to their homes and helping them choose clothes based on how I know how you look.
Right.
I can guide you in your clothing choices. So having that kind of connection first really relieves a lot of the stress. And to your point of the prep work does kind of relax things a bit. And really does. Because by the time they get to the photo shoot, we have had so many conversations. We're almost best friends by now. So it's just like you're coming over to a friend's house. And yes, they're still nervous and thinking that, oh, she's not going to be able to make a good picture of me. That's just not true. But the clothing, and here's my thing is I do try to have them bring in multiple outfits so we can kind of catch all personalities. But the thing about it is, like you said, the dress looks great in person, but then on a photo, it might not look as good. And that's exactly why I'm helping my clients pick their clothes out, because it's true. And I say this line all the time, just because it's cute to wear out for a night out, to a party, to a movie, does not mean it is cute for a photo shoot. It just doesn't. Because I know I've
learned this the hard way.
Yeah. Because normally when you're standing up in the mirror, that's the way you're kind of
right. You're
comparing. You're like, this looks great. This looks great. But the one thing you're not doing is sit down. What do you look like when you sit down? Because all of your poses at the photo shoot, they're not going to be standing up.
Right.
You're going to be sitting down most of the time. So the outfit has to look good sitting down. So, and I've used this term a lot too when I'm explaining it to my clients. Don't wear things that are too snug or too tight. I feel like when we wear, we squeeze into those really tight jeans, it makes us feel skinnier, right? Because we're like, yeah, we got in there and we got it zipped and we got it buttoned and we're good. But now when I sit down in those jeans, I'm going to look like a busted can of biscuits because I'm going to have things popping out all over the place because it's too tight.
Right.
So it's always better to wear something that's loose, because in the studio, I can just clamp it behind you and make it fit perfect. Whereas if you wear it too tight, I can't do anything with that.
Because let's call that out. That's what they do in all fashion photo shoots. Yes. Nobody's just wearing it off the rack.
And they all have the clamps going on in the back.
Yeah,
you just can't see them.
I love that you're clamping it behind people. That's good. Because I was going to say, do you really mean loose or do you mean body skimming? But either way, you are going to control.
Yeah, we're going to make the outfit look like it fits you perfect, even if it's a little loose. Because we need some movement.
Right.
We need some movement.
Right. What about, is there particular fabrics or color choices or patterns that are stronger than others?
Textures are wonderful. I love texture. A lot of this really soft t-shirt material, unless you have the perfect body without any rips or rolls or anything, that material is not good for a photo shoot because it's going to bring attention to every single thing you don't like about your body. I love like waffle prints, tweeds, anything that has that nice thick texture, brocade. What else? Let's see. Linen is good. Anything that has a texture is going to be perfect, because it also, not only because you're not wearing it too skin tight, but you can go a little tighter with those fabrics because that texture is really going to hide some flaws.
A multitude of sins.
Going to hide some flaws.
So the other thing we talked about a little bit is hair and, all of that jazz, and makeup. Is it crucial to have your makeup professionally done? Because I do want to tell you, I have a love-hate feeling with makeup. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I feel so foreign in the makeup that is done for me that I feel it impacts how I act on camera. But then also I recognize that they understand, the trained makeup artist understands what needs to happen. So you're not necessarily having a street look, something you'd walk down the street with for a photo, but also you don't necessarily want to look like a glamour shot when that's not who you normally are. Yeah. So talk a little bit about best practices for makeup and hair for a professional photo shoot.
For me, I think it's a crucial piece that most photographers leave out. And I will say, and I have had clients who say, I don't really wear a lot of makeup, so they get a little anxious about that part of it. They're afraid, like you said, that they're going to look like somebody that they're not. And even for somebody who doesn't wear a lot of makeup, we can still have a very natural look, but still accentuate the features of their face that we want. The cheekbones, the jawline, those are very important. The eyes, we want your eyes to pop. So lashes are a must for me. I know that sometimes they can get really crazy big, but I have a stylist that I've worked with for 4 years, and I have 100% amount of faith for my clients. I never have to tell her what to do. She just knows how to do it. So you're still going to feel like you have too much makeup on.
Right.
But once you get in front of the camera and the lighting, it really, I feel like it just kind of takes 50% of it away. And so you still look natural, but you just look like you're the best version of yourself on a day that you kind of popped out.
Because let's clarify. We're not talking about, let's snap a photo at the ball game. These are portraits.
Right.
This is, come on now.
These are intentional.
Intentional.
Yeah.
And so I think that's important. So tell me, why do I freeze? And what do I do about that? Because I am so sick. I think I have a fairly nice smile. But when I smile on camera, I'm like, it's just not me. What do I do to get over that? What do all of us do to get over that?
So do you mean in snapshots or on actual photo shoots?
In actual photo shoots.
In actual photo shoots. Well, that's going to be a lot of the photographer's job. You don't have to know what to do. And that's what I tell all of my clients. You don't have to know how to do anything. I'm going to tell you what to do every step of the way. So getting you comfortable with me before we even get the camera out is so vital.
Right.
And then it's easier for me to make you smile naturally and make you laugh or giggle for the photo shoot if we want to have that kind of a casual vibe as well. So that's really important about it. And that's the thing I tell people, don't think it's your job. It's not your job to know how to work yourself in front of a camera. Nobody who knows how to do that.
Yeah.
Nobody knows how to do that. Your photographer needs to teach you how to do that.
Well, and you said make you laugh or make you giggle if that's what you're after. And of course, sometimes what we're after is a very serious professional portrait. And I remember a photographer, 15 years ago saying to me, give me that, look. And I'm like, I don't know what look that, I don't know how to make that look, that stare into the camera, moody thing. I don't have that either. It's like, how do we cultivate that?
I know that's hard for a lot of people. It's different for everybody. I don't even know. I don't have real terms that I use all the time. Again, it's what I know about you that I can make you get into that look.
Right.
So sometimes I'll say
it's the prep work again.
It's always the prep work. And sometimes I'll say, give me the look like you're looking at your 5-year-old with, just.
Oh, that was cute.
Before
you did that very well.
Don't make me, without having to say it. So sometimes that works for the ones that have kids because they know that look well and they use it every day, so that it's easy for them to fall into that.
Yeah.
So it could be something just like that just makes them get into that.
Well, it's funny. My husband was not a professional photographer by any stretch, but he took a lot of photos of me through the years, and I always loved them. And I think it's a little bit like the prep work that you mentioned, it's because you're comfortable. Like, you don't want to meet somebody the day of the photo shoot. They've never met you before, and they come in maybe in an outfit that didn't work.
And now what do you do?
Yeah.
You're stuck.
So I think you've really, your system, if you will, is very smart to get that relaxed, real, trusting you, being able to make these expressions and poses. Well, let's talk about a pose. Okay, so how do we pose to look good? I always like architecture. I like to have, like, I'm leaning toward the camera. I don't like when people tell me to, like, lean back and arch my back and all that weird stuff.
No.
But
see, I'm the opposite. I'm always telling people to tilt forward.
I love the tilt forward.
Oh, it does amazing things.
And I like to have something to put my arms on. When I just stand there, I feel awkward.
Oh, it immediately has mugshot feels.
It does.
I don't like the mugshot.
Or, like, what do I do with my hands?
That's a lot of my men, when I get men to come into the studio to get their updated headshot, they'll show me their old one, and they're like, there's just something about this I don't like. And it's like, well, it kind of looks like you're standing there for a mugshot because it's just so robotic almost. So, yeah. But, okay, so posing, and I know this is just for you, obviously, because I don't think they can see everything. But so this chair is perfect chair for posing. And I'm so happy to see this.
You don't want a cushy couch that you're leaning way back into.
No. You want to be able to sit up, okay? And the big thing with this, so you want to, this is a pose that I do every session. So I kind of put the booty back this way. Your back is never, ever going to be on the chair, okay? Never. And you're just going to kind of lean this way.
I'm going to do it towards you.
Do it towards me, yeah.
Okay, so I've crossed a leg.
Yep, cross your leg over, and you're going to throw your feet, you're going to point your toes back that way.
The table's in the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you're gonna give me a shoulder.
Okay. Giving you a shoulder.
Okay. Give me that come hither look, or something like that.
So I'm looking at George Clooney.
Yeah, whoever your person is. Yeah, he's over here. Look at him. And so that the shoulder, the tilt forward, all those things, knees and elbows need to be in a slight bend at all times.
I love this.
Because if you're, does this look
right? It's not the thing.
And the hands and shoulders hold the most tension. So those are the two things I always check last before I click the shutter. Because if people are scared, they're going to be like this.
I know. I lift my shoulders a lot, and I also, when I competed in the Dancing for the Stars here in Cincinnati, my dance instructor said to his wife, "Could you show Amy how to make her hands more feminine?" I was like, "Oh, make me feel like." But it's like, I think it was nerves. I didn't know what the heck I was doing.
And that's where people hold it, and they clench. Or if they're here, they're just like holding on for dear life. You can tell by the tension in their hand that they're just so scared. So I always tell them, dancer hands, ballet hands, just kind of wiggle those fingers and drop. Wiggle,
love it.
Drop. That's all you have to do.
Love it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make sure we include some of your really epic portraits so that people can take a peek at those, because I really love what you're doing, and I love your approach, and I'm looking forward to doing a photo with you. Where can we find out more about you?
My website, TonyaBolton.com, will tell you everything you need to know.
There you go. So make sure to check out Tonya's website, all of the beautiful photos she's done, and we'll put a few of these tips in writing for you online. But thank you, Tonya, for joining us today. Thank you for joining us today on Amy's Table, and I want to remind you, there's always a seat for you here.